And it's not that community has just begun, and community is this buzzword at the moment. And some people don't really know. They have a false sense of what a community is. Some people think that a community is an audience, it's Instagram followers. It's really not. Community is those people that you turn to. It's those loyal customers if you're a brand. It's having those people that would live and breathe whatever that you're doing. And I think community leaders are also becoming influencers in their own right, because they have so much power over their peers and these people. And I think it's so needed, and we need more people to create these spaces, because like I said, the stats on mental health and all these things are going up, and it's because we don't have connection.
Welcome to Future Voices by Bulbshare from SMG, the podcast where we explore the future of consumer insight, AI, brand marketing, and customer experience, with the visionaries shaping what comes next. In this episode, we're joined by Nicola Gunby. Nicola is a serial entrepreneur who built and sold her first company within 3 years. Now, as co-founder and CMO of CLIQ, she is on a mission to redefine social networking with a platform that fosters real-world connections through interest-based communities and events. Before CLIQ, Nicola founded MyRev, a beauty booking platform that became one of the fastest-growing beauty tech startups in 2021 and was acquired by Revolution Beauty in 2022. Passionate about community building, Nicola is dedicated to making social apps truly social again by creating safe digital spaces that inspire real-life interactions. Tune in to hear her thoughts on how brands can build meaningful connections both online and offline. Please welcome to the podcast, Nicola Gunby. Nicola, welcome to Bulbshare Future Voices.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Hey, so great to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, the sun's shining in London, which makes everyone in such a better mood. Doing good. Busy day. Lots going on with CLIQ, but it's all really exciting things.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And for anybody who doesn't know or hasn't heard of CLIQ yet, I say pause the podcast right now. Go check out the Google Play Store. Go check it out on the Apple App Store. Have a look. It's a really great platform. I will do my utmost best to convince Nicola to do world domination and bring her app to South Africa and the States and Australia and everywhere else we have our audience members. So stay tuned. But for now, we're talking to Nicola about IRL over URL. For anybody who doesn't know, IRL means in real life. I know I'm a millennial. I had to Google that myself. But we're chatting today with Nicola around brands and how brands can essentially build meaningful communities online and offline. Now, Nicola, you've hit the ground running when it comes to this topic. You've created CLIQ, this really amazing social networking app that connects like-minded individuals and also creates these communities where people can kind of connect in the real world. But social media, which originally kind of started as a place for connection, has kind of become more of like this content consumption platform. And I guess my first question to you is like, what inspired you to bring back social into social media with CLIQ?
Yeah, I love everything what you just said, because it's so true. Like, how can we be the most connected we've ever been with technology, but also feel the most disconnected? And the idea of CLIQ actually came from a personal problem. So I moved to London. It was about 3 years ago now. But when I moved, I really wanted to meet new people, as you do when you move to a new city. And then I sat there and I was like, wait a minute, how do you meet new people? If you've got no connections in a city, you're not in a workplace, if you're working from home, whatever it is, how do you actually meet people? And I downloaded all of the apps out there that were supposed to allow people to meet people. So like friendship making apps. It was all very transactional, superficial. You're swiping through people like you'd swipe for dates. And on the other side, there was like Facebook groups, which we all know Facebook's so outdated now. No one wants to use Facebook, super spammy. There was nowhere where you could go where you could access communities, because I just found community is the easiest way to meet people. If you go on these dating app style apps, you're meeting that one person, you're taking an hour out your day to go meet that person. What happens if you don't like them? You don't get on all of these things. Whereas if you go to a community event, you're turning up to an event with 20, 30 people that all have a like-minded interest. Even if you don't know what to talk about and you're going to the book club, you can talk about the book. Go to the run club, talk about the run. You have that common interest, so you can open up conversations. And then you walk away from that having chatted to 5, 6, 7 new people. It feels so much more authentic. And I realized all these community groups were doing so well, they were popping up, but there was no place for them to exist. So we basically got a tool which on one side allows people to easily meet people. So they download the app, they put what they're interested in, they find communities and find events. But then on the other side, we're solving community leaders, brands problems of wanting to build a community but not knowing how, maybe not having the features to do so on other platforms. They don't need to micromanage multiple different platforms. They can just use CLIQ. And the whole USP is we get you in front of your perfect target audience. We also help you get brands in front of your community, help you organize events, everything that you need for your community in one place. And that's kind of where the idea came from. It came from a personal problem and then realizing how many people are also facing this problem. And it's like you turn on the news and loneliness on the rise, mental health, depression, all of these awful things. And none of the social platforms are doing anything to solve it. We're just scrolling on our phone, addicted to watching what influencers, celebrities are doing, feel like we know them weirdly, and we don't. We're just seeing them on a screen. So we feel like we do. We feel like we know what our friends are doing. So we've seen they went on holiday, we haven't checked in with them in a month. So we don't know if they're actually okay. We've got this weird level of what social connection is now because of social media. So we're really wanting to bring that back. Very much a hybrid model of safe space online, but how do we create that in-person connection?
Amazing. And I think, like in this post-COVID world, which has been 5 years now already, where, we come from an era where we were just indoors, everything really was online, absolutely guilty as charged for just scrolling on my phone. It was just trying to get that connection with somebody, whether it was a friend, whether it was a family member, whether it was that influencer that I was loving their content for. And now here we are 5 years later, we're in the real world. And to your point, exactly, it's now that thing of wanting to find those meaningful connections with people where we can connect over like-minded things, not just like scrolling mindlessly, even though TikTok's been fun, but not just kind of spending those 5 hours on TikTok, but kind of spending that same amount of time meeting real people, joining real life communities and kind of really connecting with humans again.
Yeah, so true. And it's like, I feel like it's an addiction at this point. Our phones are addictions. When you get a little bit itchy when you don't know where your phone is. Like, why do we have that? It's literally just a phone. But we're so ingrained into it. And that's what the social media platforms want us to do. They want to keep us addicted to our phones. They want to keep us on the app. Whereas we, just as humans, we want to keep our screen time down. Like, no one wants more screen time than we already have. So it's all about having that connection online beforehand, but it's all about how do we get people in person, meeting people, pushing them outside their comfort zone, trying new things, and just making the world such a better place.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess, to your point, there absolutely is this growing movement towards more offline experiences. So why do you think in real life communities are more important than ever in today's digital and social world?
I think we need it as humans. I think is it Haslow's hierarchy of needs. Maybe I've got that wrong. But the hierarchy of needs in there is social connection and community. And community has always been around. If you look back in the day, like my parents met in the pub. They would go to local church. They would go to these community-based places and they call them the third space. And now we've lost that because everything's so intertwined. Like we work from home, we socialize through our phone. Everything is all become one. We don't really have that place we go to socialize and to meet new people. So I think it's needed more than ever. And it's not that community has just begun and community is this buzzword at the moment. And some people don't really know. They have a false sense of what a community is. Some people think that a community is an audience. It's Instagram followers. It's really not. Community is those people that you turn to. It's those loyal customers if you're a brand. It's having those people that would live and breathe whatever that you're doing. And I think community leaders are also becoming influencers in their own right because they have so much power over their peers and these people. And I think it's so needed, and we need more people to create these spaces because, like I said, the stats on mental health and all these things are going up, and it's because we don't have connection. It's because we don't have these spaces that we can go to. So it's definitely needed more than ever. And I think it's within human nature to connect. Like if you do look at COVID when we're sat at home, the sun was out and we had a little bit of freedom in a way because maybe we weren't working, but a lot of people struggled because they were at home on their own and they couldn't connect with their friends, they couldn't connect with their family, whatever it was. And I think that was a true representation of how much we need connection. And then coming out of COVID, people were a little bit scared to meet people. They were scared to step into these spaces. And now it's like we've got this ultimate freedom again, but no one knows how to go back to what we had before. I think there's some amazing communities out there doing amazing things, and we see it all the time. Like when a community starts on CLIQ and it's very niche, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because this means that there's a group of people there that can connect over a common interest that maybe wasn't out there before, maybe wasn't a group for it before. And it's so cool to see like all the different communities that happen and the different trends in different locations and the ones that do well and the ones that don't. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is communities is really easy to build. People think they create a group, people start meeting up, they don't need to do anything. Like communities do require a lot of love and attention at the beginning. Once you get it past a certain point, it grows on its own, and it's so magical to see all of these amazing communities thriving. And we see it all the time, like the amount of times someone will message us or contact us and say like, oh, I came to one of the events on the app and I made a best friend and now I'm so happy. I moved to London, I didn't know anyone, I was so lonely. And that's what really keeps me going, is the purpose, the mission of CLIQ.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's so lovely. And speaking to your point around just the fact that, you know, those niche communities that, you know, coming together, especially like post-COVID, and how I think of the Nike running app, for example. I'm not a runner. I prefer long strolls to my fridge. But I remember during COVID, I downloaded the app because I couldn't go to the gym. So I needed something that would keep me active. And so, cool, I have this app. And then next thing you know, I'm hearing other people online also have this app and they're using it to stay active. One thing leads to the other, where suddenly, oh, okay, cool, now we can connect over this app where now, okay, cool, let's go running. And you have the athletes who are running, you know, like they are in the Olympics, and you've got someone like me who kind of just wants to walk. Little did I know, oh, there's other people who also just want to walk. And so come together with this really cool Nike running app. But within that big topic, you've got this niche community of people who just want to walk. and I love the fact that I've been able to meet people and connect with friends over something as small as we're just a walking community in this bigger Nike running club. And more of that. I think it's been great to see more of that. It's not just wine clubs, but it's also girlies who don't want to drink, but let's connect over the mocktails. It's those book clubs, but absolutely, let's maybe do the silent book clubs where we just sit in silence and then we come together and let's have a conversation afterwards. And so
it's so cool.
With everything that you've done with CLIQ, I'm so curious to hear if you've got a light bulb moment for us where you kind of successfully played a role in seeing an online to offline community really and truly thrive.
Oh, good one. I think one of the most powerful ones is because London's so big. There's so many communities there, which is so amazing, so easily accessible to go to a run club Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. Like there's so many happening, which is so great. And then there was this community that started and it was actually based in Surrey. So a little bit out of London, more in the countryside. And I spoke to her at the very beginning and she was starting a run club called She Strides, female run club, very similar to the ones that she's seen in London. She was like, I just wish that our area could access this. This was probably about maybe like 5-6 months ago. She just started. Very small when it started. Now every Wednesday, Saturday, and I think it's Sunday, she has over 150 women turn up for a run. It's when you see the photos, it's bigger than run clubs in London put together because there's nothing else in that area that's doing anything. It is people that want to go for a run. They have mums come, people bring their sisters, they bring their daughters. There's 18-year-olds and there's 60-year-olds, and they all go for a run. It doesn't matter about your pace. They have different paces, and it's just this amazing community of women outside of London getting more people than someone does at a run club within central London. And I was like, wow, that is the true power of community. And now she's scaling it to different areas in Surrey and in the kind of like countryside to bring it to more people. People drive like half an hour to go to a run club. She's like, I actually can't believe how much it's blown up. But I think that's the true thing of like, if you find a niche in a certain area where no one else is doing it and you're the first one to do it, then it's going to absolutely fly. And I think for me, that was a really light bulb moment to be like, okay, communities aren't just city focused. They're also in the smaller rural areas where people really probably need it more because there's less for them to do and there's less places for them to find connection. Whereas in London, you could walk down the street, go to an event, go to a bar, whatever it is, and you could meet people if you put yourself out your comfort zone. But in the countryside, like when you don't really see many people, really hard to meet people. So that was a big one, and that made us kind of rejig our strategy in terms of not just going after cities, going after the smaller areas where people really need the connection.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear that. Like, it's not just seeing that difference in the bigger, denser cities, of course, like London, of course, here in Cape Town also, there are so many running clubs, but it's also so lovely to hear that it's almost like no matter where you are in the world, you'll always find that opportunity to connect with somebody else. Sometimes it takes you being the first, that brave step. But it's great that you've been able to enable somebody to take that first step and have it grow and scale to something where people are driving like far out just to come and experience that. Oh,
and it's so nice to see, and the impact that it makes on these people. Like it's just amazing. Like they're pushing themselves out of their comfort zone and doing something that's really scary to them. Like going to a community event on your own is so scary. But if we can make that process so much easier through the tech that we've built, and like every event you can see who's going, there's a group chat, all of these things that make people feel so much more comfortable. But then at the end of the day, it's the experience, how people feel when they go to that event and they walk away. Like they want to come back, they want to tell their friends, they want to tell everyone, and they take the time out to even DM us to be like, thank you so much. Even though we weren't the ones facilitating the event, we're the tech that people has used to make those connections. And just seeing those success stories, like that's really what drives us.
At Bulbshare, community is at our core. Building passionate global communities for real-time insights, for at-scale innovation, and for authentic content and advocacy. Meaning the brands we work with can put authentic consumer voice at the heart of their decisions. Developing products and services that really land, content and campaigns with genuine cut-through, and maximising growth by effectively serving their customers. And when it comes to global brands, we work with some of the biggest and best.
It's allowed us to set up and reach hundreds of consumers within days, have hundreds of quality answers analysed by the expert insight guys at Bulbshare, and at a fraction of the cost of some of the bigger suppliers out there.
And thanks to Bulbshare, we now have this ability to run any topic, any survey very quickly. If I get a question from a marketing director in the morning, I can get the answer in the afternoon.
Bulbshare, through the means of technology, helped us connect with those consumers right across the world, getting into their homes, understanding their lives, understanding their moments of breakfast, understanding what they eat, how they shop.
Community is at our core, but we use pioneering technology and leading research techniques to drive agile, meaningful and at-scale results for our customers. From live in-store video feedback, to at-scale heat mapping of packaging concepts, to virtual global workshops. We drive thousands of community responses every day from every type of consumer and from every corner of the globe. Those responses are analysed in seconds with the power of AI, meaning the brands we work with can make lightning-quick decisions based on the true voices of their customers. And our global team of expert researchers bring deeper meaning to the data, helping our customers get to the consumer truths that drive success. Community, research, technology. This is what drives us.
now let's turn the conversation to the buzz, which there's a lot of buzz around influencers and brand advocates and content creators. And then you get loyal customers, right? How do you define each role and where do you see the value most for brands?
I think the value at the moment for brands is community. I always think like, okay, if you're a brand, say you're an activewear brand and you want to get in front of female runners, you could pay an influencer that has maybe less than 2% of their audience are even runners. Or you could sponsor and get involved with an all-female run club. Maybe it only has 5,000 people, but you're getting 5,000 women that would live, breathe your product. And I think the community leader is their influencer in their own right, in terms of they come to the run and they're like, okay, we're sponsored by Sweaty Betty this time. Here's a discount code. Everyone's going to want to go and buy their products. I think it's the best brand advocacy that you can have because you're getting direct to the consumer. And even though it doesn't feel as tangible in terms of metrics, there's real conversations happening. You're getting your products in front of real people's hands and you're getting to create this in-person experience, which everyone remembers. If you've been to a brand event, you always remember to go back to that brand because you've had that experience with them. I think it's so nice now that brands are creating the influencer experience for their community, like Refi when they did their community trip over an influencer trip, and they do all these community events. I'm like, wow, because you can pay an influencer to come on holiday with you and promote your products, but they've probably been on those holidays multiple times. They also get to a point where maybe they don't appreciate it as much anymore. Whereas if you get your loyal customers, the people that are driving your brand that would do anything for it to come on that trip, they're going to shout about you way more than influence does. And it doesn't matter about the followers. I think with influencers now, we're also seeing a massive shift in influencers creating their own communities. So influencers now are realizing they need more than just an audience. So they want to have that in-person community, whether it's creating a run club or creating a book club, or we've got an influencer that uses CLIQ that's created a community for South Asian women. And it's just women that get together, they do all different types of events, but that's boosted her kind of like profile so much more from doing that, because she's got that tangible in-person thing. The brand can, work with her, but it's like, oh, also I have this community of 1,000 women. It's your perfect target demographic. Why not get in front of them as well? And then you're also giving back to your followers. You're giving back to your community constantly. So I think for brands, the most interesting thing is this community space. And I think the value of an influencer is slightly going down, whereas the value of community is going up, because you're getting in front of that perfect target demographic. I think at the moment, like, brands are just shooting in the dark a little bit. You pay for an influencer, you don't really know what you're going to get from it. You don't really know how many people are actually going to be interested in your product. Where if you can really tailor it, like maybe you're launching a new book, why not get it in front of all the book clubs? You're launching a new running shoe, get it in front of all the run clubs. That's the way the brands will win now, is getting their product in front of people as opposed to just on a digital screen.
And to your point, I think I'm also definitely somebody who feels this. It's that feeling of like I'm a part of something. Yes. I'm a part of a group. I don't always get that sense with influencers sometimes. I mean, yes, they can create a really cool image or content for a video, and sometimes it's really well curated, and absolutely, yes, it looks great. But there's just something about feeling like you're part of like this really cool club, this really cool community, where it's like, it's all of us, it's everyday people, that there's this resonance to it, there's an authenticity to it, that I just go, yeah, I can consume this a lot better if a brand were to back up a running club that was just filled with like community members who genuinely love not just the brand, but running itself and like being active. I think I'm on that boat too, of seeing that shift in backing more communities, because there's just something to be said about feeling like I'm a part of something with other people, rather than just sitting behind my phone consuming something that an influencer's shared and like on to the next thing and on to the next thing.
Yeah, and there's that status in there. I think you have to see something 7 times online before you actually purchase it. So an influencer doing one post on a product, we're not going to make you buy it. But if you go to a community event and it's sponsored by a brand, or there's a certain brand there and you can see everyone's using it, everyone's talking about it, everyone's trying it, you're like, okay, maybe I will. And it's more relatable. It's like when your friend recommends something to you, you want to go and buy it straight away, as opposed to seeing something online, because you really value what that person has to say in their recommendation. So I think it's very similar to that, and word of mouth can be so powerful within those communities and community events that can just drive so much traction for brands.
No, that makes total sense. Now, what's your hot take, if I could say, on micro communities versus large scale influencer followings? Do you think that smaller, more engaged groups really do hold more power now, as opposed to what they did a few years ago?
Yeah, definitely. I think they do. And I think it all depends on what your goals are as a brand and what your product is and who you're wanting to target. Like, if you can target a local, I don't know, I always say running because it's just so on trend when everyone's running and it's the easiest thing to say. If you can target a local running club and you're a local brand to that area, like, the range of how your brand spreads is going to be so much further than someone promoting it on social media. And I think that's what's so interesting. And I was mentioning before, like niche communities, seen so many niche communities getting really cool brand deals. Like, there's like hiking clubs, there's like bouldering clubs, mountaineering, all these different things are getting really cool brand sponsorship, because as well, I think everyone wants that viral content. Brands now want that viral content. And yeah, influencers create that amazing curated content, but to create that really cool thing that makes you stop in your tracks and be like, oh my gosh, wow, that's amazing, I want to be part of it. That comes from the niche communities, and that comes from those really niche interests of people. So I think it's a mixture. I do think influencers are amazing for some brands, depending on what the brand is. But I think for those kind of like smaller brands, they should be thinking about community for sure, and putting their money into the community. And also, I feel like you're giving back you're giving back to local communities, you're really putting money back into communities' pockets to help them grow and scale. It's really difficult for communities to scale without any funding, and brands give them that funding. If they can pay the community to get in front of it, then they can reinvest that back in the community and make it bigger. And that's the only way communities going to get bigger, is if they can reinvest back into it. So I think, yeah, it's really nice as well that brands can give back to the people that are buying their products as well, as opposed to spending 50 grand on one Instagram post, which is crazy. I do see the value of it, because it's hard work being an influencer. It's hard work creating content and creating that amazing feed and building all that content. So they're definitely worth that value. But I just think as a consumer, we look at influencers different right now. When an influencer first came out, when it was the first thing, we're like, oh my God, I'm going to buy it straight away. Whereas now we actually think like, okay, would I buy it? And the kind of value goes a little bit down. Whereas I think with communities, like we said, you're just getting that really tangible experience.
No, that makes sense. We've been speaking a lot about running clubs, and I'm hoping Nike, Adidas is listening to this episode.
Sure they are.
Like, we would love sponsor us some new running shoes, please. Nike, Adidas. Oh no, Nicola, this has been so great. And gosh, I wish I could go on and on and on in talking to you about online communities, offline communities, and the value that really presents itself when it comes to these offline communities, and just ensuring that brands really do stand up and pay attention to the smaller niche communities that are really just growing day by day, month on month across the globe. All I want to say is just thank you so much for just taking the time to sit down with us. It's been such a lovely conversation. And as I wrap up this episode, one last question I have for you is, we're hearing a lot about authenticity, especially in community building. What are your 3 tips on how brands can encourage genuine interaction rather than just engagement for the sake of engagement?
Oh, I think, it's really thinking about your audience and what they want. What do you want your community to be? How do you want people to feel when they join your community? Is there a community that you just want to drive product sales, or do you want to create something more meaningful? I do think going down the more meaningful route will build that brand advocacy and will make people buy from your products more, as opposed to just selling to them. No one wants to join a community and feel like they've been sold to. So I think it's really thinking about what you want the community to be, how you want people to feel, what you want people to experience, and like how do you translate products into that without feeling like you're being sold to. So I think that's one of the top tips. And work hard at it. Like, community is not easy. It's hard to sustain, but I think it's one of the most powerful marketing tools that you can do on a really, really low cost as well, especially for small brands. I advise them to create a community straight away, because they're people that will live and breathe the brand. And I think brands now, the old school brands, are now thinking, oh my gosh, I need to build a community. But it's so cool to see these new brands coming out. That's the first thing that they do, because they know how much traction that drives. So also thinking about, what stage of the business that you're at, and how do you either bring that community back if you haven't facilitated before, or how do you start fresh and how do you build that really engaged community at the beginning?
Yeah, amazing. Nicola, it's been so lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for dropping all of your insights with us. I appreciate it. I know our audience will appreciate it. And I'm off to go download the app. I'm waiting patiently for you to come to South Africa.
We will get there one day.
No, for sure. But Nicola, seriously, thank you so much. This has been so insightful. And from me to you, thank you. And go conquer the community world on all of us, from us. But thank you so much. And on to the next one.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your support. It's really appreciated.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Bulbshare Future Voices. If you're ready to dive into the future, head over to bulbshare.com to see how we can revolutionize how you connect with your customers for real-time consumer insights, user-generated content, and authentic brand advocacy. Click the link in the description to download our latest report. This time, we go in-store with Gen Z shoppers to discover the brands, experiences, and products that truly resonate.